Okay, guys, must know life skills. So, for those of you who don't know my background is as a lawyer, writer, reporter, journalist. I did tons of mentoring, particularly for junior high, high school, first generation college students. And one of the things I used to do speaking engagements and stuff, particularly going to the schools, and I occasionally would do it even recently, going to schools, teaching kids about what they need to know about their legal rights, and just other life skill stuff. So, what I came up with was a presentation that I would do, and I had it based on, what kids need to know from 5 to 10, what they should know by the time they graduated junior high, 8th, 7th, 8th grade, what they should know by the time they're 18. So I'm looking over my list of my presentation that I would normally give. So I'm going to break this must know life skills thing down. It's going to be several parts based on the age 5 to 10 and age 11 to 13, and then age 14 to 16, and then I have age 16 to 18. So this is going to be probably like a 4-part series, only because it's a lot of information, but I do want to make sure that you guys have it and that you know where to go. Like I said, I want to educate, inform, and provide resources and tools so that you know where to go and start your own search. So it doesn't help if you don't know where to start. So I want to teach you how to fish. Also, I'm first generation college graduate, first generation law graduate. So you don't know what you don't know. However, it is up to you to educate yourself so you can fill in the gaps. I'm going to use an analogy from therapy. You are not responsible for your childhood poverty. You're not responsible for your childhood trauma. You are responsible for your healing. So for those of you who are like, well, I'm not 18 and I didn't learn these things. It's okay. It's okay. My father was a hard worker. He was a carpenter. My mom was a homemaker, and she didn't enter the workforce until I was in high school. And so, particularly when it came to college, they were like, we don't know these things. You need to ask questions from your college career counselor, from teachers. You need to, because it was new to them too. So we had to educate ourselves together. And there is no shame in not knowing. The shame, because I'm going to tell, this is the difference between ignorance and stupidity. Ignorance is you don't know. You don't know. Here's stupidity. You know, or you've been made aware of facts, and you continue to act like you don't know. And that's stupidity. Stupidity, I have no patience for. Ignorance is you don't know. So let's learn. Ask questions so that you can be informed. So, part 1, we are going to, and I'm going to be looking down because it's been a minute since I've done this presentation. Between the ages of 5 to 10 years old. First thing, you should know how to count money. And it's crazy as this sounds, nowadays, kids have grown up, they don't even have calculators. Everything is on their smartphone, or they have an iPad. They don't know how to count money, which I'm like, ugh. Okay. So I'll give you an example. I think I was home from break for law school, was craving some sliders. So went to White Castle's. Went there, just ordered probably like 4 sliders, the 4-slider meal. And I gave the girl a 20. Now my meal was like, couldn't have been no more $6 or $7. Somehow their registered computer system was down. And I gave the girl a 20, and she gave me back almost $20 in change. And I was like, honey, listen, you about to lose your job because your register's going to come up short. And I had to show her how to count the change back. And she didn't know that. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, if you want to keep this job. So first of all, teach your kids how to count change. And one of the things that my dad did for us, he, for those of you who know, I'm from the south side of Chicago. Don't judge me. Anyway, I don't care. So my dad had one of the old Crown Royal bags, the purple one. And he would always put all the loose change in there, and it was super duper heavy. And so he would always, that's how we learned how to count money. Every night he'd, take the Crown Royal bag and he'd spread out the change. We had nickels, dimes, pennies, silver dollars, back when there were $2 bills. Whoop, whoop. And so we had to count out the money. And that's how we learned how to count change. Also, my grandmother was the candy lady, and I used to help sell candy in her thing. And so I was the cash register. You're not short my granny. So teach your children how to count change and make it fun. Kids nowadays have their little fake grocery stores, that they can set up in their bedrooms. Instead of, using the fake money, use the real money. Make it a game. So from 5 to 10, first thing, count money, use spare change. So instead of, the change you guys have loose, teach them the spare change. 2, money management. One of the things I noticed from my peers who have children, because a lot of us, I'm Gen X. We grew up latchkey kids. We had to, mom said, take out that chicken. We had to know how to prepare, we had to prepare stuff, and we had a lot of almost adult responsibilities when we probably shouldn't have. But we also had some great times. And I think what I heard a lot from my peers is that they didn't want their kids to grow up like them. And I was like, okay, I get it. Nobody wanted to be spanked. Maybe we got whooped too much. But don't throw out the baby with the bathwater, because we learn valuable life skills. And the whole thing about knowing how to count money and money management. I knew what a budget was. We knew it. Like my mom explained, okay, when we were going grocery shopping, she had a grocery shopping list. Here are your staples. Here are your meats. Here's your dairy. Here's your thing. And this is what we need to do. And here's our monthly shopping list. My mom shopped once a month, but she would show us how to break it down per week. They need to know these things. Start off with a piggy bank. Old school piggy bank. They got the spare change. Most kids, before they know the dollars, $1, $5, they like the jiggle of the change. They like the jiggle. Start off with the piggy bank. I'm gonna date myself. I had a Tootsie Roll piggy bank. Woo woo. It had the Tootsie Rolls inside. You ate all the Tootsie Rolls, and then you put your money in there. Start off with the piggy bank. Open a savings account for your children. Take them to the bank. Have them open their savings account. This way, and I always give the example, I open savings accounts for all of my nieces and nephews. And I told them, savings account is emergencies only. Every week, I got phone calls back in the day before, texting and stuff. Auntie, I got an emergency. I need to use it. What's the emergency? Scholastic Reader Fair. I need the money to buy books. Auntie's a bibliophile and I believe in the books, but I was like, honey, that's not a true emergency. Auntie did slide $5, but I wouldn't let them touch the savings account. Open a savings account, help them see that and how it grows. Nowadays with these apps, incentivize. Use the chore apps to help your kids if they do chores or allowances. Now, I didn't get an allowance as a child. When I mentioned it to my dad, he was like, I was like, my friends get allowance. What's up? My dad's blue collar. And he was like, so what do they get an allowance for? I was like, my friends get an allowance for doing chores, cleaning their rooms, all that other shit. And he was like, hold on. So you slept in that bed and you want me to pay you to make up a bed you slept in and messed up. You used the bathroom and messed it up and you want me to pay you. And he was like, oh, no. He's like, that's part of your thing. And I was like, well, they get money for getting good grades. And I was a straight A student. He was like, getting good grades is your job assignment. He's like, your job assignment as a kid, do your chores, do your homework, get good grades. He's like, when you go above and beyond, I will give you an allowance. So I never had an allowance as a child. I had to get some odd jobs. Granny, can I help you around the house? Can I, but if you do give your kids an allowance, you should tie it to a responsibility. And then we got apps now, if they have their own smartphones or something like that, or their iPad, use the Chore app so they can get paid. A budget, and I'm going to say this over and over again. as we're investing in ourselves, if you don't have a budget, then it's not going to succeed. And here's the thing about the budget. Your budget is your life plan. If you know how to budget, you're going to learn something about time management. You're going to learn about responsibility. For people who are like, I don't do no budget, I ain't broke. I'm sorry, the wealthiest people have budgets. When I've talked to people, financial planners for high net worth people, they're like, my clients only live off of 3% of their income. They're high net worth clients, the people who have money that goes in infinity and beyond. I call those people, they can die and be reincarnated 15 times and still come back rich. No, they're on a budget. And you know why? They wouldn't be rich if they weren't on a budget. So the B word, adopt it, get used to it, give your kids a budget. We're going to the store, you know, how I was raised, we're going into the store. Don't ask for nothing. You don't want nothing. You don't need nothing. Don't touch nothing. And I did as told. Now, you know, I knew my parents did that because we were on a budget. With my nieces and nephews, when I would take them to stores with me, I would either tell them, you got a $5 budget, or you got a $10 budget, or auntie's bought you enough, we're not getting anything this time. Even for their birthdays. Here's your budget for your birthday. Here's your birthday budget. Here's your Christmas budget. I found that when I would say, and I used to tell them, tell auntie what you want for your birthday. Tell me what you want for Christmas. I would get a rap sheet longer than my arm about what they wanted. And I told them I would pick what I wanted to do. And one time I wasn't able to go and do the gifts, so I got my niece a Toys R Us gift card. And when she came back, she had nothing that was on the list that she gave me. And I was like, sweetheart, what happened? Oh, auntie, do you know how much that stuff costs? This stuff was on clearance and I got double the toys. Oh, we know how to budget. From then on, gift cards, because they knew how to operate within a budget. So a budget is a good thing. Your kids need to know the difference. And you, and as an adult, should know the difference between a need and a want. So you may want candy, but you need food. You may want a toy, but we are buying shoes and clothes. You need shoes and clothes. You don't need name brand. Don't be a design label whore. Quality over quantity. As an adult, we learn, like, if you're buying a house, and it's like, what do you want? And then, you know, everybody's like, oh, they want 4 bedrooms, 4 baths. I want the ensuite. I want this. And then if you have a good realtor, they was like, what do you need? What do you need? What are your wants? Because what you need and what you want, what you need needs, you know, okay, well, we'll make the needs fit in the budget. The wants, those are just, that's extra. That's that whipped cream on top. Because guess what? You can be like Rob, like, what's it, you know, champagne wishes and caviar dreams, but your wallet is saying you Kmart blue light special. Okay, we're going back in the day. So teach your kids early on the difference between a need and a want. And sometimes they will get things they want and need, but that's not all the time. They need to understand that early on. All right, 5 to 10 years old, also cooking, cleaning, laundry. Many college students arrive on campus having never done laundry, clean, or cook. And I'm not talking about you know how to put some MSG packet ramen in water. I'm not talking about that powdered macaroni and cheese crap. We don't believe in that. Your kid needs to know, you can start them off 5 to 10. How do we make sandwiches? Start teaching them something. I grew up in a household where my dad, my grandmother, my dad, there was boys before girls. All of my uncles and my dad, they can cook. They can cook. Now, my mom cook. And my mom did most of the cooking in the household. But my dad knew how to cook. Made the best Southern biscuits. And his brothers, oh my. We have it in our household. Every child is taught one dish, at least one dish, like signature dish. It's like it has to be elder approved. So the dish that I learned, baked macaroni and cheese. We don't play with no box mush. Don't bring that sin in my house. Every child. So each of the nieces and nephews. Okay, you gonna learn how to do the collard greens. You know how to do the sweet potato pie. Oh, so and so, she know how to do potato salad. Have your kids learn those dishes, and so for the Sunday dinner or for Thanksgiving, it's like, oh my goodness, who made the muffins? So and so did. Girl, you put your foot in that. Have them own, and that's how you pass down family traditions too. So start teaching them little things. They can take it on. Reproduction. Know your body. Know your changes. One thing that happens as a lawyer, I came across, unfortunately, people would call me about abuse cases. I did not do criminal law because of that, because I just emotionally, I can't, it messes me up when I hear particularly, like, abuse is horrible enough, but when children who can't speak up have been harmed, that messes me up. So one of the things you need to do, talk to your children about their body. The language may change. Like, you may start not using, when my grandmother talked to us, because she's a Southern, and she would say, now, girls have kitty cats, little boys have Peter worms. Now, as they get older, you want to explain to them using, adult terms, vagina, penis, and what that means, and about protecting their body. And we were told, nobody touches you. No. That's a no. Because a lot of times what happens with abuse is someone tells them, and if you say something, I'm going to hurt somebody else, or I'm going to do this. Have your kids know and understand their bodies, and know when something's not right. They can tell you, mommy, this doesn't, no. Have them verbalize that. Teach them the words of how to protect themselves and their body. And as their body is growing, talk to them about, yes, you're going to get hair underneath your arms, and you're going to get hair in your private parts. Explain to them what those changes mean, so that they aren't shamed, or they're not going looking for information in the wrong places by people who have ill intent on how to help them process that. So that's the first thing. The other thing, 5 to 10 years old, start talking about college. Oh yes. For my nieces and nephews, when they were little, we talked about baby college. They thought they were going from daycare to college. So we just start having those conversations about college. And here's the thing, college isn't for everybody. And you don't always need a college degree to be successful. There are trades. Electricians and plumbers make good money, okay? Talk about, trades, professions. Talk about college, because guess what? College costs money. So start talking about, what are you good at? I remember as a kid, people say, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I would say like 5 different things. Fortunately, I've been able to do all 5. Not at the same time, different things. Start talking to them about that. Voting. You need to, when I grew up, and particularly coming from the south side of Chicago, where I think Chicago was the first city to have a black mayor. Voting. My grandmother grew up in the South, and she grew up when she had to pay to vote. So voting was like, no. We take that seriously. We've been killed and beaten over the right to vote. So when my parents went to vote, we were in tow. We went with them. Talk to them about voting, and not every 4 years, because the election that happens every 2 years at the city, state, and local level are the ones that are going to have the most direct impact on your life. Start talking to them about that. Let's see, I'm going down, and this is, I'm so happy. It's been 20 minutes. I've been trying to keep these under 15. So those are the things that I have for age 5 to 10. Learning how to count money management. Start talking about, budgets. Opening a savings account for them. Need versus want. Cooking, cleaning, and laundry. Start introducing them to stuff. My mom would, it's just like, okay, come on in the kitchen and help me dry these dishes and put them up. Have them learn basic skills. And it's not, I hated doing chores, so I'm sorry. These are life skills. Everybody keeps talking about if they were in The Walking Dead or if the apocalypse happened. Guess what? Your butt gonna die. Because guess what? I'm not saving nobody that can't contribute to this whole program. You can't cook. You can't clean. You have... What you got? Why should we keep you alive? I'm sorry. Auntie Rhonda rant. Start teaching them. Teach them how to make a PBJ. Peanut butter jelly time. Hey. Start teaching them, how do we make a sandwich? Teach them little things. Show them a family recipe. Cooking, cleaning, laundry. If anything, the pandemic should have taught you, we need to learn how to have life skills. Reproduction. Teach them about their body, how to protect their body. One of the things that you also want to do is come up with a code. For my niece, for a lot of people, when I'm talking to young women, I was like, between you and your parents or whoever your guardian is, have a code. Because particularly when they were preteens and teenagers, I was like, look, you're going to do some stupid stuff. And you're going to make me mad. I'm going to be disappointed. But I will get over being disappointed. Here's what we're going to do. If you're ever in a situation, you feel unsafe, whatever, peer pressure, here's a safe word. You send me, you text me that. No questions asked. We will handle that situation, and then we'll have the talk about why I'm disappointed and what needs to course correct later. Come up with that with your child. If something's wrong, they feel unsafe, what emoji do they text you? So you know right then and there. Stop. It's an emergency. My child needs intervention. Come up with that emoji for them. Start talking about college now. Baby college, trades. Start talking about voting. All right, that's part 1 of must-know skills before you turn 18 for ages 5 to 10. Bye, guys.